So welcome back to the workshop then. Now if you're a regular visitor to the workshop, you'll know that apart from making lots of lovely mandolins, I also enjoy the occasional side project. So let me show you what I've been doing on my days off then. Right, so here's my latest acquisition that I'm about to open. I must admit a little bit of trepidation because as you can see, plenty of parcel tape, but maybe not the most robust packaging in the world. But anyway, let's get on the bench and we can see what we can see. So it must have taken the guy who I bought this from ages to get all this tape around it. Hopefully I can get it open a little bit quicker. Right, so there we have it. A 1982 Westone Thunder bass, made in the legendary Matsumoto, pardon my pronunciation if I got that wrong, factory in Japan. Yeah, so it all looks actually in reasonably good nick. Right, so it's come out of all of that packaging remarkably unscathed and is in really good condition. So it's a 1982 Westone Thunder bass made in Japan. Clearly 3 strings. I need to put some tension on those 3 strings, see whether or not the pickup works. But yeah, generally looks okay. So yeah, let's tune that up and see if we can get any sound out of it, shall we? Well, it works. Yeah, so I'm very, very pleasantly surprised how good it is. So what's the plan of action then? Well, I think what I'm going to do is put a new set of strings on it. Whilst the old strings are off, just give it a bit of general clean up, and then play it for a while and see if any issues occur that I feel that need remedying, and just mull over what I actually want to do to it. I mean, it's a beautiful colour, this kind of honey colour. I mean, it'd be a shame to strip it back and refinish it, wouldn't it? Because the finish isn't bad. I mean, obviously it's got lots of dings from, you know, picks and fingers, etc. But hey, that's part of a 40-plus-year-old instrument, isn't it? But yeah, generally very pleased. So, new strings tomorrow, I think. Right, it's the next day and I'm just about to put some new strings on, but before I do, this fretboard is really quite grimy. I suppose in reality it could have, what, 44 years of grime on it. So I'm just going to give it a clean up with some lemon oil and quadruple O wire wool and try to get some of that off before. Right, so with all of that gunk cleaned off the fretboard, I've got a new set of strings on it, adjusted the action and the intonation. So really what I'm going to do now is just play it for a few weeks or whatever whilst I'm getting on with my current mandolin project. See what issues present themselves and then go about remedying them. But at the moment I'm very impressed with the guitar. It's incredibly well made. Yeah, incredibly well made. I can see why they're such highly thought of instruments. But yeah, that's where I am at the moment. So here we are, 6, possibly 8 weeks later. Yes, I've been playing the Westone and really quite enjoying playing it. It is really a very nice instrument. However, I do need to sort out the action. If you remember, I lowered the bridge, which improved the action at the 12th, but it's clearly too high at the nut. And also I think there's a tad too much neck relief on it. And looking at the frets closely, I think whilst I've got the instrument, it would benefit from me refretting it. So the plan is then, take all the frets out, and then I'm going to see whether or not I can adjust the truss rod to try to, say, get rid of some of that relief, refret it, and then once it's been refretted, I can set it up at the nut there much better than it is. I mean, I really think that it's about 0.4 of a millimetre, half a millimetre too high at that end. So yeah, let's crack on with that then, shall we? So life would be so much easier if I could get the nut out. So I'm just going to give it a sharp tap. Oh yeah, it's moved. Oh, so that's okay. I think I'll be able to get that out. Probably easier if I take the truss rod cover off. The screw's a bit chewed up. So clearly somebody's had a go at adjusting the truss rod at some point in the past. And whilst that's off, what I'm going to do is in a minute squirt some WD-40 down there, so when I come to adjust it, hopefully it will move. So yeah, that nut's going to come up. Oh, there it is. Okay, so there is the brass nut off. So now when I come to clean the fretboard up, when I come to sand it, I'll have a clear run at that. Right, step 1, successful. Right, so as you can see, I'm kind of halfway down the fretboard. The frets are coming out easily, relatively easily. You've got to remember that some damage to the fretboard is inevitable because the frets are designed to have these little barbs which hold the fret in place. They're not really designed to come out, so when you take them out, it's inevitable that those barbs chip the fretboard a bit, but it's all about kind of minimising that. Now I can't get under these frets, so what I have to do is really grip them incredibly tightly and, you know, kind of cut into the fret and then give it a bit of a wobble. Right, that one seems to be a bit tougher, that end. I'll start at this end. Yeah, it's starting to move. Right, I think I can get that under there. Right, is it going to come? I just like to put this underneath it, just so I can lever against it so I don't damage the fretboard. But as I say, these are... that's it, that's better. Okay, so that one's starting to come out now. Yep. And kind of looking to make sure I'm not lifting too much of the fretboard up. Give it a gentle wiggle. Just try to push down any pieces of little bits of fretboard which are lifting off. that's okay. Now I can see that it just wants to start tearing the fretboard here. So I've got to pay particular attention to that. There you are. Right, so I managed to hold that piece that looked like it was going to break off in place. So I'm just going to squash that down. And before I go any further, put a bit of super glue along that slot, because what I don't want to do is obviously lose any of those pieces, and I'm not worried about the super glue, this being the Zap thin CA. I'm not worried about that sitting on the surface, because obviously the fretboard is going to be sanded down and all of that will go, plus the fact that the fret will cover that anyway. But yeah, so that's that one done. And you can see, if I show you this, well, I hope you can see the kind of the wear if I just rotate that slightly on the frets themselves. So yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, no, it's not 11. Yeah, so that's it. No, 10. Oh, 10. So we're exactly halfway down. Yeah. Well, as you can see, all of the frets are out. Now I just want to check the straightness of the neck, and yeah, that's pretty much spot on. Yeah, and I think once I've just given that a cursory sand to clean the fretboard up, that's going to be pretty much perfect. Yes, I'm really happy with that. So yeah, next stage, clean the fretboard up. Now I don't know if you can see, but on the fretboard itself there are some dents, some quite deep dents, where you can see the impression of the string. So maybe at some point the base fell over and bang, you know, the string, put a dent in there. So we'll try to repair those. Initially so I don't really want to remove any wood as such. All I'm interested in doing is cleaning up the surface. Minimum amount removed. And it's nice and level along its length. And you know, that really is pretty much perfect. So the fretboard's been prepared and I'm ready to start fretting it. The fret wire that I'm using is this wide low fret wire, which is pretty much period correct to the 80s. And I got that from Touchstone Tone Woods. The whole process of fretting a bass guitar, I've gone into great depth in one of my previous videos, Bass Build Part 5, imaginatively titled Frets. So if you want to know about that whole process, have a look at that video. The only thing that I wanted to add at this stage is that the fretboard, it hasn't been bound, but at the ends of all of the slots, they filled the ends with some kind of brown paste. Now, in order to achieve that, the ends of the frets that I've taken out, you can see have been kind of cut back at 45 degrees. So to emulate that, what I'm going to do is use these tang nippers, which will just chop off the tang at the end there and allow me to then fill the ends of the slots, and that will make it authentic. So right, I'm going to crack on with that, and as I say, if you want to know more about fretting, have a look at that other video. The frets have been beveled at the ends there, and what I'm doing now is I'm just filling in the little gaps at the end of the fret slot excuse me, with one of these wax filler rods. And really the way to do it is to rub really hard, and what happens is the friction, the heat from the friction softens the wax, and you can push it into the slot, and then you can use a rag over the surface there, and that gets rid of the excess, and again the friction helps it move into the slot. And later on, what I'll do along that whole edge is I'll just put a little coat of shellac on there, just to seal everything in. But yeah. I guess my plans have changed a little bit for the base. The fact that I had to take the neck off has kind of prompted me to take off the tuners and, you know, strip everything down and do everything in a different order to I had originally intended. But yeah, so I'm just going over the neck now with some microcrystalline wax. That's all coming up nicely. Right, my friends, so there we have it, the Westone neck, refretted, cleaned up, truss rod adjusted, all looking rather lovely. Yeah, so the next step for me is obviously to get on with the cleaning up, restoration, etc. of all of the other components, and I'll show you all of that in the next video. So until then, thanks for taking the time to watch, and you take care. See you soon. Cheers.